Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And I want to give a salute and salutations to the hopeful elect that's preaching on the true names of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. In one accord, I want to say shalom. But today I'm going to just go into a lesson because I was listening to a video of one of the elders, one of the elder brothers. I think he's down in maybe Mississippi. His channel is called Kingdom Minded 144. Brother always in the spirit putting out edifying lessons, so, subscribe to the brother and be edified. But he was going into a lesson, about treasuring this that we have. Going and treasuring this understanding that we're able to tap into this and get this understanding where the Lord is dealing with us, allowing us to, receive this wisdom. And that's, I'm going to open it up in Matthew 6:21. It says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." He was going into, how if we don't really invest in this treasure that we have, or even really see, really treasure this that we have, the Lord is going to take it away, just like he took away the birthrights from Esau because he didn't treasure what he had, So if you're not treasuring what this Lord has given you, you just give this talent and everything, he's going to take it away and give it to someone, who will treasure it, because it tells you that in Luke 10:24, it says, "For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye heard, and have not heard them." So if you ain't cherishing this, the Lord will take the little that you do have, because I get it, the way this world is set up and everything is, this world tries to, keep you on this, rat race, and you ain't got time for this. You trying to please everybody and everything, but at the end of the day, you really gotta tell yourself, because you got this wisdom, so you got to look at this wisdom we have, and really look at it and really sit back and be like, what really matters? Because we have this good news. We should be hastening, a new kingdom. So it shouldn't really be anything in this kingdom that should be having us so tied up that we don't got time to tap in. I'm speaking to myself first of all, before I'm speaking to anybody else. But it's like that shouldn't be anything more important than this, because we know that this world is full of wickedness, and we live in a kingdom of foolishness, man. Like we understand, we tapping into wisdom, so we understand that this world is tailored and built around a whole bunch of foolishness and wickedness, so it shouldn't really be anything that could be so important that's causing us not to really tap into this treasure that we got. This is 1 John 2:15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Verse 16, it says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world." And that's basically what it is. That's the only thing this world provides. It caters to your fleshly desires, that's catered around, at the end of the day, wickedness. So the thing of, so we all should be really tapping in more, like really making it our duty to designate this time to get into reading, to get into looking at videos, to doing anything that's, with us staying in the spirit, with us giving into this wisdom to gain more knowledge, to constantly seeking. We should never be disenchanted by this word. We should constantly, we should get excited about this, because at the end of the day, is nothing in this world could compare to what the Lord is going to give us, starting with the hopeful elect. And we all, hoping and praying and, that we of that number. So at the end of the day, it's like we got to tap in, and sometimes tapping in, that's going to require us to like let a lot of people down. But at the end of the day, we got to understand that, what's more important. And if you don't, then like you really don't understand what you in or what you're a part of. This is Proverbs 19 and 8, and I'm gonna read it in the NIV. It says, "One who gets wisdom love life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper." And I just wanted to read that in the NIV because it says, "One who gets wisdom love life." And this wisdom, this is showing us what really life is. Because this world is only produce, things of death and wickedness. So you can't love this world, because if you love this world, you love death. There's no, and the two can't live with each other. They can't coexist with each other. You can't have this world that's built around wickedness and death, and then you built around, the kingdom built around life. So, at the end of the day, it's like if you tapping in too much of this world, you tapping into this death. You tapping into everything that this world has to offer you. And it's not of, our Father, Yahweh. So at the end of the day, we got to really constantly be examining ourselves. Like, am I spending too much time on worldly things? Speaking for myself, like I was saying, like we all should kind of like designate, like I was saying, a routine that we can't break, for nothing of this world could, can break this, being more disciplined. Because the Lord, at the end of the day, the Lord is going to honor that. And another thing that the brother had said that stuck out to me, he was saying, the Lord looking at it as He's going to give you the same energy that you giving Him. So if you're investing a lot of time in Him, He's gonna invest in you. If you ain't really investing in Him, then how could you expect, to gain? How could you expect to gain more wisdom and knowledge? At the end of the day, if you ain't tapping in more and everything, He's gonna just, He's gonna take the little that you have away. Because you don't understand this, what you have is more precious than anything in this world. So if that causes you to, you tapping in, that you kind of like losing relationships with people and everything, I mean, look at that as a blessing. The Lord just did you a favor. He removed the demon out of your life, man, because at the end of the day, they people that want to stand in your way and can't see this and look at it as like, you foolishness, you into foolishness, is, what you doing and everything. You need to, distance yourself from that situation anyway. So the Lord is doing you a favor. They don't have the vision. They don't see where you're going. Everybody can't go with you. That's all I have for tonight. Something I was just going into from listening to the brother. Well, with that, I want to say shalom.